Hi guys. So it's been a while since I made a video, but I wanted to today talk about something special, for me personally, something that I really enjoy, studying or talking about or working out problems with, which is force, as you can guess it. It's just there's something about the mechanics and the statics and all the stuff that force can resolve around. I find it really interesting, and hopefully I'll try to explain it to you in a simple way that you will be able, to start loving it as I do, And just to start with, so in simple words, force is just a push or pull. Okay? So if you push something or pull an object, you're applying force to it. And when you're applying force, it's going to have, a direction, which is the acceleration. So the acceleration will be going in the direction of the force. And, speaking of, so basically, force is a vector quantity, and I've made a video earlier about scalar and vector. I would suggest you watch that. And just so you would know that vector quantity is is magnitude plus direction. It has both. That's why it's called a vector. And, that's what's you need to make sure you know about force. Now, when you come talking about force, you're going to come to the very famous and popular formula, which is F equals ma, which is basically the formula which is very powerful that connects force, mass, and acceleration. So the force is equal mass multiplied by the acceleration, which means that it's proportional to both the mass and the acceleration. So hence, if you have a very high mass, it's likely that the force would be increasing with the increasing mass. And the units, by SI units, it would be, since mass is in kilograms and acceleration is in meters per second squared, it would simply come to the fact that kilograms into meters per second squared obviously would become kilogram meters per second squared. Now that is the SI unit, but the actual unit that they would use more commonly when you're dealing with physics is newtons. So you'd say, okay, if there's a force of 3 newtons, then it's 3 newtons. That's how you would use it. So I hope in that way then you know how to derive the SI units for force, which could be actually important for you to know in some of the exams and AS levels that they might ask you for that. Now what I want to show you here basically is hopefully after I can teach you thoroughly how to deal with problems that involve forces, that you'll be able to solve problems like this. Like let's say you had have a block with a mass of, let's say, 3 kg, putting lighting on a slope, okay, that has an angle theta here. So this, you'd have to use components and things like that we talk about, but it's really interesting, to be able to solve such a problem. And then here, this is also so cool, is pulleys. I really love dealing, with pulleys. So you'd have like 2 ropes, and there would be a pulley in the middle of them, and they would be connecting like 2 blocks, something like that, in that way. And in this case, this one would be having like a rough surface, horizontal surface, and you just have to compute tension and forces and things like that. It can be really awesome and fun. So I'd like you to teach you these things following. So let's say we have a nice block. Now, excuse my handwriting and drawing. It is completely awful, I admit it. But just please deal with it. So I have here 3 kg, okay, I have a block. And, okay, so this block that has 3 kg, let's assume that it's being pushed by someone in that direction, okay, with a force of, let's say, 12 newtons. Yeah, okay. So now that we have the mass and the force, we can start solving for the acceleration, which is the rate at which the object is moving. So here I'm going to have, let's say that, F is 12 newtons. So this is really just a rearrangement of the formula. What do we know? That F equals ma. Therefore, A is going to equal F over m, which will then equal, 12 over 3, which is obviously 5 meters per second squared. So that's acceleration. We're done with the problem. Now, if they want to complicate things a bit for you, all they could really do is mess up with the units. So instead, they might give you, the mass as, 300 gram. So in that case, obviously you'll have to convert it, or else you're going to get a number that's not nice or handsome at all. It's going to mess up your whole answer. So just make sure that, if you have grams, you have to convert it to the SI units, which you said kg, simply by, dividing it by 1000. So yeah, this is really just a simple problem I wanted to show you. Hopefully, in future videos, we are going to, solve more complex problems, go into more detail, and you'll be able to really solve the things that I showed you, in the application slide, which could be really interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.